Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful Borgers, couldn't be more excited. As you guys know, we're always trying to bring the best projects to SwissBorg, and we strongly believe that Moemate is one of those. The reason is that it really fulfills the AI narrative. More than that, the team is amazing. Aha is going to introduce himself right after. It has already some traction too, which is really, really good. And of course, we're going to do a lot of things with Alpha and WorkPad. Couldn't be more excited to have you, Ahad. Please introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about your crypto journey and how you got to build Moemate. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Cyrus, for the warm introduction. So, hi everyone, Ahad here. Engineer, never really did an honest engineering job, but been in product for most of my life. I did product in various different capacities, consumer electronics, software, hardware. Before this, I was working at Apple as part of the wearable team there. My journey in crypto started in 2015, of course, Bitcoin. In 2017, I ran my own dev shop as well during the ICO phase. Um, I really got interested and involved in AI in 2018. At that time, I could see that AI is at an inflection point. It's going to, change a lot of things. And I got interested in one particular vertical, which was focused on entertainment. And I'll tell you that like why we picked that entertainment particularly. Uh, but like since 2018, I've been involved in AI, mostly in the open source AI. Advised a couple of big open source projects. Angel invested in some of them, which in my view, some of them like became big enough and like kickstarted the open source AI revolution as well. Stable diffusion and stability being one of them. Our initial focus was, if you remember, a couple of years ago when there was metaverse hype, we started off with we wanted to build an open source community of metaverse enabled by AI. So like, building towards like full blown simulations. And along the way, we realized that, that's a good 5 to 10 year vision. But what are the building blocks we need to build to get there? And that's how our journey of Moemate began. We launched Moemate mid of October last year. Since then, we've grown to 4 million users. We've been operationally profitable for a couple of months now. We've already crossed like
Amazing.
million ARR, for a couple of months now. And what is Moemate? I'll get into those details. But before that, I'm not alone. I'm accompanied by an amazing team. My co-founder Chris, who's based out of Florida, he used to be the director of research at Magic Leap, especially working with embodied AI. And prior to that, he has like 20 plus years of experience working in game development as lead game developer, shipped countless titles, played by, millions of players across PC, mobile, and console, but primarily console. Right now, we're like 11 full-time, 3 part-time team members across all over the world. Most of our dev team is based out of US, but, we have members in Europe, Asia, everywhere else as well. So what is Moemate right now? What we are building is, the entertainment platform with multimodal, multimedium AI. What I mean by that is that this is AI which can see, which can hear, which can talk, can be embodied, and can perform actions and skills in like different tools and applications. That is what we're doing. The simplest version of what you can do in Moemate right now is build a chatbot more focused on the entertainment use case. The more complex version is that like you can build agents which can do certain tasks as well. And I'll, take you through some of those examples. We're building Moemate, which is a multimodal, multimedium embodied AI platform focused on entertainment AI. And I'll talk about, what the big picture vision is towards the end as well. But what I mean by multimodal, multimedium AI is this is AI which can like see, hear, talk, embodied, and can perform actions in like different tools, applications, even virtual worlds, etc. Now, before I go into the details of what we're building, I just want to share a bit of like rationale of like why we decided to do this. So the first thing is that like when I saw AI at 2018 and it was an inflection point, I could see that it's going to create a lot of value. And my question was that like, where would most of this value be created and captured? And my thesis was, which we were seeing it play out in real time, is that like initially a lot of focus would go in at the infrastructure level. We saw, NVIDIA was like is currently as well. It was like quite hot, followed by like a GPU cloud. Even in like our AI crypto space, we saw Deepin narrative sort of take off, followed by the foundational model layer, such as like GPT, Claude. But eventually, our thesis is that most of the value is going to be captured by the application layer, because both foundational models and infrastructure, they're going to get commoditized. And we're already seeing it play out in real time. For example, if you look at foundational models, open source is already as good or even better than closed source. And Claude is like as good or better than GPT. So we're seeing that they're getting commoditized. So that was the first thesis. The second thesis was that why we picked up. So we wanted to do something at the application layer. Why we picked up entertainment particularly is that if you think about AI right now, it demos well, it does not generalize well. Of course, the capability is improving at light speed, but right now entertainment is a perfect use case because it could be a bit off the mark. Even if it's a bit off the mark, it's a quirk, it's a feature, not a bug. Secondly, entertainment has always been the earliest adopter of any new technology, and we are seeing it play out in real time even here. Thirdly, while AI is being used to solve existing productivity and utility based use cases, on the entertainment side, it's creating entirely new demand, emergent social phenomena. Like, who would have thought 16, 17 months ago that people would be spending hours talking to fictional chatbots? And just to continuation of that thought is that in our view, when you think about entertainment, I always like to say is that AI is quote unquote the final fantasy. It's going to entirely revolutionize the way we think of entertainment. It's going to be much more immersive, much more interactive, because I think we're now finally reaching a stage in which, if you just think about games, for the first time, we have the ability to build narrative based, simulation based games, right? So that it's not about science fiction. It's not a figment of science fiction anymore. We're already seeing it that it's within our grasp, right? So that's what we are sort of building towards. And yeah, I mean, if you can see my screen on the left panel, this is everything which we have live right now. You can use our product to make most of the advanced chatbots out there. We are more focused on the entertainment use case, so you can make fictional characters. You can make role playing games, trivia games. You can also do some productivity based bots as well, but that's not what we are focused on. Followed by that, we are the only platform with embodied AI. So you can have these agents in AR and VR even today. It works across headsets. It will also work with camera AR. We're waiting for AR VR adoption to be significant so that we can double down on it. Because our thesis is simple: is that chatbot is the initial user experience. It is very quickly going to evolve from text-based chatbots to simulation-based 2D, 3D games on which we have done a lot of work as well, and eventually to mixed reality agents all around us. So we're thinking about the present and serving the needs of the present, but we're also building for the future. We're also present at both as an iOS and Android app. So these are the things which we have live right now, and we have 4 million plus users. We have highest DAU count of hovers around 110,000, and I think in the next couple of months we are looking to 4x our revenue and 4x our users who we are serving as well. So just to give you some wild, staggering stats, because for me it's also it's not just about the user numbers and everything. Some of the wildest thing for me is that we as a platform, we process 2 million messages a day. 2 million messages is being used by users, exploring this high fantasy fiction, or just using AI as a tool for creativity, as using as AI as a tool for being immersed into immersive fantasy worlds, etc. Yes, Cyrus, you were saying
beautiful.
something.
Yeah. So what do you think? I mean, what are people really looking for this product? Do you? What are the strong use cases you feel like the person? Because I could imagine anyone would like to try it. And please, guys, go right now on their website, which is very easy, moemate.io, and create your profile. It takes just few seconds and check out all the different beautiful characters that you could talk to. I 100% understand why anyone would like to try this out, but what do you think is the reason why you have these returning community members that go back and say like, oh, actually this is bringing value, entertaining me, or at least bringing me back to the platform because I want to go to from that testing to using essentially.
Yeah. So first of all, it's a Swiss Army knife. You can literally use this product for so many things, right? Like you can use it as an ideation, you can use this for creativity, you can use it for like productivity. You can have like a chatbot which can like help you with homework. You can have a chatbot which can like help you with creative ideas. All of those things. But I would like to once again focus on the entertainment use case. I think in the entertainment use case, this is the first time in which we have the ability, like otherwise if you think about like media up till now, it has always been one way, right? Like you watch a movie, you read a book, right? You play a game. For the first time, this is media which is like truly reflexive, which is like you talk to it, it talks back to you. Based on what you talk, the response is going to be completely different. So this is like an opening up of like a completely immersive, media, right? Like this is for me, this is like just like redefining all of the entertainment genres, like comics, like games, like movies, right? Like everything. So this is just the building block towards it. And I'll share that we have a published paper, is that like eventually what we are building towards is what we have realized is that like um, people just don't want to be talking to one chat bot, right? Like they want to be actually living in a universe, right? Because that's the stuff of science fiction, right? Like you just teleport yourself into a universe, complete like end-to-end simulation. And that's what we're building towards, right? And we have a published paper there as well, is that like I think like couple of years, and then we will have like full text to game. You'll be able to describe what you want, and boom, it creates a world. It creates all of the characters within it. It establishes the relationship between them. It establishes cause and effect, and like you're going to be transported to a never-ending world. That's like what we're building towards, right?
Yeah,
And I
I've
mean, it's pretty crazy to me that like I can say this with a straight face now, because like this was the stuff of science fiction, but like I can say it with a straight face and you don't think that I'm crazy. So
No, I mean, I definitely believe that now getting, I mean, 10 years ago or maybe 8 years ago when I was playing along with IBM Watson, I was like, oh, well, it was interesting, but, there was missing something. It's clear that today this has evolved in a much better way. And I do agree with you that the immersive and that customization is what everyone wants, right? You want to be a hero of your own story. So if you could enable that, I could only really, be a big plus for Moemate for sure. Do you mind ahead walking us through the product itself? Because again, there's so much great things about the product that I really love. Would be awesome.
sure. So this is what I was telling you, is that like we are live in AR and VR even right now. So
Super
we're just
awesome.
like, yeah, we're just waiting for like the adoption to be significant enough so that we can double
So
down
let's
on
go.
that.
Let's
But
go
but
a step back. This is you find one character and then you'll be able to play this character in VR and AR. Is that correct?
correct. And the crazy bit, which is like a lot of people don't realize, is that like not only is it that like you can talk to it, like this character will like know about your surroundings, right? Like it will be able to go and like sit on the couch, right? It'll actually be able to see as well, right? Like so these kind of things. So like let me show you an example of what I mean by that seeing. Um, so we had this desktop app a year ago. We were the first one to
Mm-hmm.
launch it, even ahead of any of the big AI labs. And you can see we were like organically even covered by TechCrunch for it.
Oh,
Um,
super cool.
and this was a year ago. And what's happening in this is that like a player is playing Dota, and then we have a desktop companion which can see everything on your screen and sort of like playing the game with you.
No way. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, so it's like seeing the screen and telling you what to do and everything. And just like how you could see the screen, we also have a visual perception loop, which means it can see things through your camera, right? So we are like moving towards that world in which like you really have like you can really talk to your computer, and some of these conversations with the computer is like, the best part is that like a lot of people think that like on the societal aspects, and they think that, oh, like we're going to move away from like humanity, etc. I don't think that's true. Like most of these users, when they talk to AI, they actually know they're talking to AI. This is like, a lot of people think that like when they're talking like, oh, it's serving like the loneliness use case or the companion use case. I don't think so, because we talk to our users. This is more like playing a game. This is more like fantasy fiction. This is like it doesn't serve the purpose of like what real human needs do and all of that. Sometimes it's a voice in your head. Sometimes like you just want to like talk to someone with like no judgment, right? And that you're talking to something which has like absolutely no judgment, right? So
It's true. The no
yeah,
judgment part is important.
yeah, because what I realized is that like there's an underserved market for non-judgmental conversations, and that's what AI like unlocks, right? Like because you can
100%.
go and you get right into it, like even better than a therapist, because that
Mm-hmm.
like there is like
100%.
no holds barred. You can just get into it and you can say whatever you want. So this is where we say that like we have a fully fledged skills store. Basically, what are skills? Skills is the ability for like beyond chatbots, that like you were talking to an agent and you're like, hey, I'm bored, let's play a game of chess. So chess is a skill which is called, and then you start playing a game of chess with it, right? Similarly, if you're like, I'm hungry, can you order food for me? And Uber Eats could be a skill based on your preferences and everything. It orders for you, right? So some of these examples of skills we have right now, like, this is an Andrew Tate bot. I asked like, can you share a selfie of yourself? It shares a selfie of itself. That's an example of another skill, right? So these are some of the skills which we have right now, like first party skills, but we'll also open it up for third party developers with a manual, so that, people can like keep on adding more skills on top of it. And then, it's like your entertainment hub. So like, you're not just like chatting with it. You can like, you can do things with it. It can help you do things with it. And like, it basically creates a marketplace so that there's ways for like developers to monetize as well, and
Yeah, I heard saw that's amazing.
for agent creators to monetize as well, so that they can chain different skills together and create like more complex agents. So an example of another skill which we have live right now, and so in my view is pretty cool, and I'll give you like a quick demo of it, is like a coder skill which we have live right now. So like you ask it to like code any website, and it generates the entire source code for you,
Right.
like just to this line, and it does it, right? So you can see like the possibilities are endless, and we're going like
Right.
step by step, towards unlocking many other use cases, right? So the next thing which we want to unlock is that like, which is where like the crypto part and everything comes in. There's like, first of all, I personally believe that all of these agents, bots, this is a new form of media. This
Yep.
is how media is going to be generated now, which means that people are going to own it, collect it, trade it, speculate on it. That's number one. Also, this is going to be a new form of IP.
Mm-hmm.
Or we are already seeing
Agree.
on a platform. Not only people are creating like existing fictional characters, or existing fantasy characters, they're also creating original characters, right? And like, unlike previous generations of IP development, in which you just used to like develop the lore piece by piece, here you just build a backstory, you add a few prompts, and then the AI does the rest. This is like dynamic IP, right? The third thing is that like, I 100% believe that like these agents are eventually going to be smart agents, which means that they are going to do transactions and settlements on chain. And they are going to be like, because I mean, they're not going to go and like open up a Citibank account, right? Like, so it's much easier for these agents to have like smart wallets, and based on like they can work on like rule based transactions and all, right? So we're
Right.
building towards that future as well. So like, for example, in terms of skills, you can just like, one would be like, adding skills like, some of the crypto based skills is like, so that you can trade, those kind of things will also be like offered on the marketplace. Now, where the token part comes in is that we have taken a lot of inspiration, I would say, from Web2 social media. And we have looked at
Mm-hmm.
them and we're like, okay, what is good about them and what is broken, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is that, like, what works in crypto, right? So if you think about it, like, really the three things in crypto which have found product market fit are exchanges, launchpads, and marketplaces, right? Like basically, and all of them have the tendency of like betting on either culture, betting on people and ideas, or betting on uh, products and protocols, right? Like that's basically what it is.
100%.
So we're saying that, like, okay, so in traditional social media, if you think about YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, they all do some sort of creator payouts, right? Like they either do it monthly, they either, or some do like semi-annually, annually. What is the problem with these creator payouts? The following is the problem in my view. The first one is that the payouts are non-deterministic. People don't know how they will be paid out. That's number one. The
Mm-hmm.
second one is that it's non-discretionary, which means that they can change it anytime they want. I mean, TikTok has
Yep.
changed their rules many times. That's
100%.
the second one. Uh, the number three thing is that while creators do get payout, um, but if you think about, for example, if something goes viral, it's not just the creators who play a role in it, it's also the first few believers, the first few supporters who retweet it or
Yeah.
repost it. They also play a critical part, right? So like taking these three examples, we were like, okay, what and the fourth thing, which is like not exactly related but sort of related, is that in the world of AI, as we're moving in, we're moving into the world of abundance. That's great, but a world of abundance also means a world of spam, right? Which means that right, like, and by the way, I think there are some stats already, which is that like I think like 30% of like all content generated on the internet has been generated in the past 2 years, something like that. Like I might not be exact about that, but yeah, the world of spam is going to increase because like at the end of the day, yeah, AI is creativity tool, but also remember it's a bullshitting tool as well, right? Um, so considering all of these, we realized that okay, what if like people can come in, they can make an agent or a bot. The community can participate in its success, and basically we solve all of these problems. So our tokenomics is extremely simple, which is that like you come in and you think that like if an agent or a bot is going to be big, you stake your or tokens into it, and then every season we basically reward the top X percentile of the agents based on interactions, and it goes to the creators and it goes to the community members who stake their tokens into it. And that is basically distributed over a bonding curve. So basically, if you stake your tokens early, you get more. If you stake your tokens later, you get less, right? Um, and the benefit is that the people, like the most staked bots, they are going to be showed on quote unquote the discovery feed, the featured page, the for you feed. So that basically caters to the part of the spam, right? Like, so this is
Right.
in a way like the community can like take part in the moderation. They're also quote unquote betting on the right ideas. So it's almost like picking like an example from entertainment is, I think, movies, right? Like if you think about movies are ephemeral, right? Like it's like they would be like popular for like 3 months, 6 months, then they eventually fade away. I mean, of course, they have some
100%.
cultural significance, but it's the same thing with like general entertainment things, right? So every season, like this community has an incentive to like continuously finding the big winners, right? And participate in that share as well. Filter out spam, do some moderation as well in the process. That's how we have like built the tokenomics of this with these considerations. What we're doing is that like the token is basically a way for people to like participate in the growth of the network, right? So the token
Okay.
is how we basically just like reward people, reward creators, reward the community for picking up the right
Hmm.
winners. So like, when people get these tokens, they basically can, like stake these tokens in, and they will get more tokens based on that, right? Like if they are picking up the right winners. So we would like, just thought about the tokenomics as to like how we can like align the incentives in this way, so that, it is like continuously like participating in the growth of the network. Now, on the on the demand side, as you said, right, like people can decide to like, paywall their particular agents with tokens. You can also use tokens to like tip other creators. All of those things can happen. Then, there's other additional functionality which we're launching, which is that like how people can like, collect certain like, like for example, if you're an agent, you can like, make like 80 different like, non-fungible versions of it, and like, people can think about collecting it. These are some of the mechanics which we are thinking about it, but we just want to like um experiment with things with like, which has like sustainable impact, because you're like literally experimenting at the fringes of it, right? So yeah, the idea is that like how do we basically, the main purpose of the token is to align the community and the creators towards the growth, so that like we are growing, and the community can participate in the growth of it, right? Like because the main thing is here is that like in a way you're sort of like investing in like AI apps, right? And
Yep, that's
the
it. Yeah.
biggest
Yeah.
the biggest unlock which we decided, and that's what I was saying that like the three things in crypto which I found product market fit, and one of the things which I mentioned was launchpads. And the
Yep.
biggest thing which the problem which was launchpads with which we have seen so far is that like launchpads are great, but the next innovation we need in launchpad is like not just investing on the promise of something releasing, but on something which is already there, so you can invest in it, right?
Yep.
And basically what we are doing is what we
And use
realize
it,
is
of
that,
course.
yeah, exactly. Well, what we realize is that like uh, the one thing which AI really enables, it enables the long tail of use cases, the niche use cases.
Mm.
Uh, and these niche use cases, as I said, that many of them might be ephemeral, which means that many of them might not be multi-billion dollar businesses, which means they're not VC backable businesses, but they still could be
Right.
multi-million dollar businesses, right?
100%.
Um, and they still need some form of startup capital, right? So what we are
Yep.
doing is that like first we're giving you a platform in which we are saying that like you don't have to worry about the infrastructure, you don't have to worry about setting up your own GPUs. We're going to give you all the foundational models. You can like chain it together in a low code environment, create your own use case, and we're also giving you distribution so that you get your initial users, and all of that, right? Additionally, the community through their tokens can sort of like
Yep.
pseudo invest in them, which is also like
100%.
enabling the creators, and they can participate in the growth of the network and the growth of that. So we really thought about the tokenomics in such a way is that like uh, it enables us to like continue having the web 2 aspect while continue rewarding people with the tokens as well, right?
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, we want to be a mass market product. We are already talking about millions of users right now, and we want to like continue growing to like hundreds of millions. Like I mean, our goal is go towards like tens of millions of at least daily active users. We're still very far from there, but that's the goal. And so for that we just have to keep those considerations as to like building towards like long-term sustainability. And this tokenomics, we believe, is that like it's creator aligned, it's community aligned, and it's also like general user aligned. I think we are scaling with the current product, and the exciting bit is that we have more things in the pipeline, right? Like some of the very basic things which we're doing on the entertainment side is like things like comic generators, things like mini games, um, as well as like continuously like just enhancing a current experience with like like longer term memory, like better latency, like all of those things. So I think we do have like good signs of product market fit, and for us is now is just like being patient and like making sure that we don't lose momentum. And we really think that like these the token effects, once we like bootstrapped it, because the biggest problem right now, the unsolved problem, is how we are going to um, reward the creators in this new AI paradigm, which is what we're sort of like, solving for. We have another. I can't share too much about it right now, but we have another project. Well, there is like another project partnership with another big crypto team. What we're going to do is we're basically converting into a marketplace where people can come in and they can like buy and sell agents, sort of like speculate on them, sort of like meme coins, etc. But like these things which have like actual utility, and of course many of them could be like entertainment based, so they have that meme coin element as well. That way people can speculate, and a portion of that speculation profit can go towards the creators. So that's how we're like thinking of like closing the loop. And it is also like giving people the ability to invest in AI, because if you think about it, like most of the big AI
Yeah,
companies, OpenAI, Anthropic, etc.,
it's impossible. Yeah,
private, right?
closed doors.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
So
invited to the party.
not invited to the party. So yeah, yeah, these are some of the things which we have in the pipeline. I'm quite excited about all of them, and I think very privileged to be working on this and to be at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, couldn't agree better words for that. Maybe last thing. So I presume we're going to have an alpha opportunity within SwissBorg that's going to come in the upcoming days to week, depends how this one is going to be aired. There's going to be an opportunity as well through PorkPad, I assume. Um, the maybe last thing, what I made up my mind, and I was like, okay, now I got it. Open source, marketplace, community, and how do you make the spin around all of that? Essentially, as Moemate. I think so that makes a lot this, but in a cool way. And sorry, and you sprinkled the entertainment, because what I always say at SwissBorg is that if you don't make it fun, fair, and community centric, you're not going to make it in the 21st century. It has to be fun, because we're going to be in abundance of everything, and we need to have fun. And if it's not
Oh,
fair, it doesn't have a
that is such a good point, because I say that like in a world of abundance, we're going to see an increase in non-productivity use cases, like entertainment use cases, because
100%.
like when all your basic needs are taken care of, you know then
Yeah.
that's that's what becomes more important. So 100% agreed with that.
And I like the fairness as well with the token, and where you could get rewarded, and you could as well participate into these agents while staking and believing that these beautiful AI companions could help you, but it could help other people as well to make their lives more fun. Or and I think so. That's a really cool way to yeah, some way have this open source launchpad of AI companions that make your life much better and more fun. Uh, Last words for you, Had. Anything you want?
I think there's a couple of reasons why we're doing this. And the first reason why we're doing this is that like I've been a big fan of like ICOs always, and I think that like now, of course, there were some flaws, etc. And I do think that like a couple of things have changed or about to change in the crypto community. I think the first thing is that like there's going to be a rise uh, to the top of like quality projects. What I mean by that
Mm-hmm.
is that like which have like not just promises, but like serving a real need, right? That's number one. The number two thing is that like and I'm tying it to the ICO thing which I mentioned, is that like I believe that this era is going to be about consumer crypto, and giving community the ability to participate in it is the cornerstone of like I believe crypto is that like that's how you build like successful um, cult like communities, by giving them the access. I mean, this is our first token round. It's not like that like we did like many other rounds. This is our first token round. along with like private investors, everyone. We just want to like have the community, whoever wants to like participate, be able to participate in it as well. And we think that like these little decisions go a long way towards like building the ethos of what we want to build, because at the core, we're building a user generated content platform. And if it's like there's a community ownership in it, that's really how it's going to
The best.
shine. Because
100%.
ultimately, I mean, our plan is to like build all the infra and plumbing. But if people are not creating like good content over it with ownership, it's not going to be the
It
best.
doesn't work. Yeah. No, it won't. It'll be complicated. But I 100% agree. And look, we did our ICO 8 years ago, so we're still here, looking for the best ones, and we strongly believe that Moemate is one of those. So very excited. Thank you so much, Ahad, for your time, and looking forward to have great news announcements within the network. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cyrus.